Hey everybody, we've got a great video for you today because this is a brand new Mazda CX-90, a really interesting new crossover, and we're going to see how the all-wheel drive system is by putting it through the TFL slip test where we test the all-wheel drive and the traction control system so that you know what to expect when you take your CX-90 out into snow and ice and slush and maybe a little bit of off-road. And then we're going to do just that. We're out here at the Onyx Off-Road On-Race Pit Course and we're going to put this test to work in the real world. This is going to be a really cool slip test for me because the CX-90 is one of the most highly anticipated crossovers of the year. This has Mazda's brand new 3.3 liter inline 6-cylinder engine, which I'm very excited about, 340 horsepower. Now this is the front wheel slip test, so the front wheels are stuck in the rollers, and the rear wheels are going to have to push us off. So we're nice and settled, into drive, onto the accelerator. Absolutely no slip, as you'd expect, because this car is a rear-wheel drive biased all-wheel drive system. All right, on to the next test. Now, let's try the rear wheel slip test. So both rear wheels are stuck in the rollers, and the front wheels are going to have to engage to pull us off. So in the rollers, into neutral, nice and settled. For these initial tests, we're in normal mode, traction control on, like you would drive this thing every single day. Off the brake, onto the accelerator. Okay, so a little bit more slippage than with the front wheel slip test, but still none that I'd be concerned about. Pull this right down. Next up is the diagonal slip test. So the left front and the right rear are stuck in the rollers. Now this is a very common situation that replicates tricky snow, ice conditions, also off-road conditions. And we're gonna see how does the Mazda get out of the diagonal slip test. So we're nice and settled, into drive, gentle throttle applications, the traction control engaged. It slowed down the wheels that were spinning, forcing torque and wheel speed to the wheels on the ground, and we pulled right off. Three-wheel slip test, both rear wheels stuck in the rollers, the left front stuck in the rollers, only the right front is on the ground. This is going to be an extremely hard test for the Mazda, and of course this is harder than what you'd find really in just about any snow or ice situation unless you are extremely stuck, but we like to push these vehicles to the extreme, and this is one way to do that. So we're still in normal mode. Been very impressed with the traction control programming so far just in the standard mode, but if we need to, we can go into the off-road mode and see if that helps us out. So onto the accelerator. Wow, impressive result from the Mazda. So we had an immediate and decisive grip from the brake on the left front wheel, forcing all the oomph to go to the right front wheel, and that was enough to pull us down. Jeez, Mazda coming in hot with their programming. That was impressive. Let's try the final test. Final test, three-wheel slip test, only the right rear is on the ground. Very blown away with the Mazda so far. Really good torque distribution through the all-wheel drive. Really linear power response out of this turbocharged 3.3 liter inline 6. Come on, Mazda, last test. All right, so kept nice, even throttle application. The traction control did its thing and pulled us off. Let's try that one more time, but in off-road mode. All right, selecting the off-road mode on the MI drive, off the brake, onto the accelerator. Well, that was quite the difference. So clearly, if you're really stuck, off-road mode is even more aggressive on clamping down on the brakes, forcing torque where it needs to go. Really impressed with the CX-90, very impressed. a real-world application of the TFL slip test. So we're here at the Onyx Off-Road Andre's Pit Course. Onyx Off-Road is our go-to off-road navigation software. You know, you can download maps of off-road trails near you so that if you're out of service, you still have access to them. It integrates with CarPlay. I genuinely use it all the time. But let's talk about this trenches course. So we're gonna get various wheels in the air, which is very common in off-road situations. And then we're gonna see, can the Mazda get unstuck? Now, of course, this is not an off-road focused vehicle, right? This is still, at the end of the day, a large 3-row SUV, but a lot of folks are now using these vehicles to go to the cool camping spots and to, you know, do some exploring out in the dirt. And we're gonna see, is the CX-90 capable of that kind of thing? So we're starting out in normal mode, and then if we get stuck, we'll put it in off-road mode to compare. But basically, we got these deep set trenches. Vehicle's gonna get uneven. It's gonna start lifting up wheels a little bit. And let's see if we can get unstuck. So we're gonna take it slow on purpose to make it hard on the vehicle. So pretty considerable amount of wheel spin here. So let me go into the off-road setting and see if that'll help. Ooh. MI drive selection temporarily unavailable. There we go, into the off-road setting. Oh, huge difference, just like we saw out on the rollers. So much more aggressive with the traction control. Taking it slow on purpose. Look at that! Oh yeah. Very impressed so far. Picking up wheels here. We're taking it nice and slow. This is the hard part because it gets steep at the top. Come on, Mazda. Oh, yeah. Even on these big 21-inch wheels with the all-season tires. Yes, Mazda! Impressive programming. But guys, this is probably one of the few vehicles I've driven where there is a definitive difference between standard mode, the normal mode, and the off-road mode in result to off-road performance. A lot of the time I find it to be marketing. In the Mazda, if you're going off-road, you gotta push that button. It really makes a huge difference. Overall, the Mazda CX-90 performed extremely well. Now, this is clearly not an off-road focused vehicle. This is a vehicle designed for everyday driving, for winter use, maybe a light dirt road, but that's about it. But honestly, with the way that this all-wheel drive and traction control is programmed, I could really see Mazda coming out with an off-road version, maybe with a slight lift kit, some body cladding. I'd love some underbody protection, but maybe something to compete with vehicles like the Honda Pilot Trail Sport, because that longitudinally mounted 6-cylinder combined with that rear bias and the fantastic all-wheel drive programming really exceeded my expectations, and I think Mazda should look into taking that vehicle further down the road. You know, we've seen it with the CX-50 and the off-road trims, but I know Mazda's going into that ultra premium kind of category, but if they were to put a slightly smaller wheel on, a slightly chunkier tire, and maybe a little bit more ground clearance, this CX-90 could be a pretty cool little, at least light trail machine, if not something a little bit more advanced.